Hey guys, this is Daniel. I'd like to talk about the concept of Shekalim, which is actually the beginning of the month of Adar. And we know that there are four Shabbats next to the holiday of Purim, before and after. And these Shabbats are, first one is Shekalim, that I want to explain, and then Zachor, the one we just read the last Shabbat, the one before Purim, then Shabbat Para, the one after Purim, and the Shabbat after that is Mevarchim HaChodesh, that we prepare for the month of Nisan. Now, Shabbat Shekalim, we read, in addition to the portion of the week, we read a paragraph from Parashat Kitisa, the portion of the sin of the golden calf, and that paragraph talks about giving half shekel, that everyone from the congregation of Israel should give half shekel for the construction of the tabernacle, and for ransom to redeem each one's soul. That's the words of the Torah. Now, what is the meaning of Shekalim? Why is it so important? To the extent that they say in the beginning of the month of Adar, the first of Adar, mashmi'in ala shekalim, which means that they talk about shekalim, and everyone should be concerned. It's not a concept, religious concept for religious people, or only for those who know. It's for everyone to check inside and to awaken something. So what is the meaning of Shekalim? So in the Midrashim, in the Talmud, it says that Moses had some difficulties. He had hard time to understand three things. One was the Shekalim, like what does it mean to give half a shekel, and like what kind of shekel. So he tried to figure it out. The second thing was the building of the menorah, of the candelabra that was in the temple or tabernacle. And the third is Kiddush HaChodesh. That's the fourth Shabbat I was talking about. Then when the Israelites left Egypt, they were ordered, Chodesh hazeh lachem Rosh Chodashim. This month, the month of Nisan, is the beginning of the year. Okay. So the first idea of Shekalim is about donation. It's about giving. And it's not just giving, like give whatever you have. No, it's very specific. Give half shekel. Shekel is a certain amount and weight of silver, that they gave exactly half shekel each person. And it says the poor man should not give less and the rich man should not give more. So everyone had to give exactly half a shekel, and we'll see why. So that's the beginning of the month of Adar. There is something very special that is happening. The month of Adar is the last month of the year, and it is just like the month of Elul. If you remember, the month of repentance and rethinking everything, preparing for Rosh Hashanah, which is the next month of Tishrei, the beginning of the year. Here we have very similar relationship between Adar and Nisan. Adar is the last month of the year, the sign of Pisces, and Nisan is the first month. So we have two different Rosh Hashanah, actually 4 Rosh Hashanah during the year, but these two are the important ones. And the Kabbalists talk about female months of the year and the masculine months of the year, but we're not going to go into that right now. So the month of Adar is a month of awakening. It's a month that we're looking to become better, and maybe things we didn't do for the whole year from the beginning, from the month of Nisan, the sign of Aries, Taurus, Gemini, following the process. The signs actually are the process of tikkun that we go through, and every time checking the inside. How are we doing? Are we doing better? What else do we need to change? Transformation, become more positive, closer to God, to the light of God. Okay, so eventually the giving of the shekalim, the giving of that, which is a precept from the Torah, from the 613 precepts, to give machatzit shekel. It comes for the preparation for the new year. Okay, so one thing is awakening, sharing, and giving, and the other thing that the Talmud says in Masechet Ta'anit, Tractate Ta'anit, it says, "Mishenichnas Adar marbim besimcha." When Adar begins, we increase the joy. So logically, you cannot just increase the joy by pushing a button. Joy is a very complex thing that usually comes as a result of receiving something, being happy about something that happened. Just be happy is almost impossible, just to decide that I'm happy and everything is great. So the Chachamim, the sages, explain that happiness is related directly to state of consciousness, to sharing and giving. So we're looking here to increase sharing, to be in that mode of giving, if it's a donation, charity, people that need help, volunteering, wherever we can. So that's awakening. Okay, the first thing. Now it says when Moses ordered the congregation of Israel to give the shekalim, or the half shekel, as a donation. So it says in the Talmud that he actually raises the heads of Israel, which is an interesting concept. Raises the heads of Israel. Ki tisa et rosh bnei Israel. That's what it says in the beginning of the text we read on this Parashat Shekalim. The idea is to look, because usually where you look, this is where you are. This is the reality. Like, you're looking at the scenery and it takes you a kind of a very pleasant experience, where you're out there in the nature. So it gives you some kind of energy, some kind of fulfillment. Or if you look at the movie, you watch a movie, action movie, and you see a lot of today action movies, a lot of shooting and people fight, and there is suspense. So again, you're involved. This is where you are at that point. And when you look up there, you look and you're calling God. If you need something, or if you wonder about the creation of the world, about like what God has in mind, or if you will, the Ari says, a great Kabbalist some 450 years ago, he says that the person should build in his house a ceiling or a roof made of glass, so like transparent, So at any given time, when he feels like it, when he's in the house, he can look up and see through the glass, see the sky, the clouds, and wonder about God. So why? Because where you look is where your consciousness is. So when it says that Moses raises the heads of Israel, so and they would be looking up there, so maybe it will help them to get them closer to God. Okay. Another thing is, why half shekel? So there are different versions, different ideas. Machatzit shekel. So if you take the word machatzit, which means half, and there are other words that mean the same thing. Machatzit, 5 letters. The middle one is the letter tzadik. The letter tzadik in Hebrew represent tzedakah, represent charity. Okay. Now you have 2 letters on the right, 2 letters on the left of the tzaddik. The farther letter, beginning of the word and the end of the word, is mem and taf, which is met, dead. And the closer ones to the letter tzaddik, the second and the second from the end, are chet and yud, which is chai. Chai means alive. So you have dead and you have alive. Now, how is that related? So they say, if you are connected, if you're attached, if your consciousness is attached to the tzaddik, to the tzedakah, if you are giving, if you're in that mode, you're alive. It gives you life. And the other way, if you're detached, if you're disconnected, if you're far away from the tzaddik, from the tzedakah, from charity, from sharing, from giving, from that consciousness, so you are dead, or at least spiritually dead. Okay, so that's another concept. And they say when the people would give the half shekel, so one version is 2 people will come together. Each one brings half a shekel, and together they bring whole shekel to the, as the donation and the ransom and the construction of the tabernacle, right? So one thing is remembering, when you're a half, you're just a half, and it doesn't matter. You cannot make it to the finish line when you're a half. You have to take care of others, and you have to make sure that everyone makes it to the finish line. Okay? There is no winner here. The winner is when you get everyone together, the togetherness. So this is one way to see it. And the other thing is even more inspiring, that we live in this world. Now, there is a duality. Living in this world, we have physical body that lives here, and we need to maintain the body, and we need to do other things, right? We do whatever we are into, if it's work, if it's our spiritual work. But then there is the soul. The soul doesn't really belong to this world. The soul is trapped in the body. The soul has a covenant. It's a kind of a pact that there is between the soul and the body. And they tell the soul, listen, you come to this world, and this is the body. You need to make this body a tool to help you out in your spiritual process, whatever you were sent here for, which is the mission of each one of us. Now, it's a struggle, right? Because the body is very, very strong. The body has its own desire, its own need, and he demands, he wants to be fulfilled, and he decides where he's going to go. The soul has to be sophisticated to get into the body's mind and bring him along, and eventually the body should become a servant for the soul. So that's the half shekel that the person brings. He needs to remember that he is only a half, and the other half is connected to the upper world, which is our soul. And if you want to awaken that other half, the soul, awaken the soul to become stronger, to maybe take over and take control over the ship, take control over the body and the direction where you're going, and to have success. So that's the meditation you do when you give the half shekel. I'm only half, and the other half is connected to the upper world. So yeah, the idea of the month of Adar and the idea of Shekalim is about awakening. That's I think the bottom line, to awaken something we have already. We don't need to invent the wheel, we have it, we just need to awaken it. So good luck with that, and in the meantime, Purim is coming this Thursday. Happy Purim, and miracles and wonders, and I'll see you in the next video.